We get to talk about policy. Campaign. It's so great.
And you love this. You love it. And I'm glad, because is this a big deal? Is what we just heard a big deal?
Yeah, you know, big picture, what this shows, Terry, is the vice president is shifting toward bigger, more progressive policies. I mean, the idea of debt cancellation, not just medical debt on your credit report. She's out there saying we should cancel medical debt. That is a policy that would have seemed pretty out there for the Democratic Party even a couple of years ago, and she is fully embracing that, fully embracing an effort to expand the child tax credit to a level $6,000 for someone in their first year of life for an infant. That's a significant increase to a federal government program that we have seen success from, something that she knows that there's popularity there, so she's seizing on that momentum. When you think about the big picture, a lot of people, I think, you know, in the economy, day-to-day households and small businesses that I talk to a lot say there have to be some big ideas to take on an issue like housing, where there is such an affordability crisis. Why not throw out an idea like building 3 million homes total, which would get at some of that shortage that we're experiencing, that could kind of understand the root problem that gets at those prices that people are feeling. And so, yes, in a lot of ways, big ideas. Could they be executed? Most of them would require approval from Congress. But I think it's a signaling effort to show these are the policies we know people are thinking about in their day-to-day, and what can the government do to make that happen?
They'll cost a lot, though, right?
Yes, and I think it's really important to talk about that. Very little mention in that speech just now about how to pay for this. Yes, we know that the vice president has talked about raising taxes on the wealthiest Americans and corporations. That's a continuation of the policy we've seen under the Biden administration when you think about some of that deficit reduction. But when you look at the numbers, not a lot of deficit reduction going on there. By the way, not a lot of deficit reduction going on from former President Trump either. And that's a big shift that we've seen in this campaign, is no one's talking about the national debt at a record high, more than $30 trillion. No one's talking about how to balance the budget, which is a little bit ironic, Terry, because we came out of this time when inflation, a lot of economists claim that that was fueled by huge levels of federal government spending, and yet we're out there seeing politicians propose more spending, not so much ways to rein it in, but they know that a lot of those programs are popular, and that's where you get to the politics of it, maybe less than the policy.
Always nicer to talk about giving money away than taking money from people. So, Selena, you've been on this campaign trail following Kamala Harris from state to state. You know, we've seen these huge crowds. Now, in North Carolina, this was not considered the battleground state when Joe Biden was in the race. Do you see her bringing this state into contention, and also kind of in the run-up to the Democratic convention, trying to ride that wave of enthusiasm that she's found?
Absolutely, Terry. She's going to be riding that wave of enthusiasm. And just to bounce off of your conversation with Elizabeth, that's part of the reason why she's not getting into the nitty-gritty of how she's going to pay for these very bold proposals, or how it would actually work in execution. She doesn't want to divide the unity in the Democratic Party by getting into all of those difficult, thorny issues. Instead, she's focusing on the issues that she knows voters care about, and she is framing it in a way that she believes is going to resonate more with voters. That is something President Biden really struggled with. He struggled to take credit for what his administration had done, and he struggled to meet a lot of Americans where they are. Now, when it comes to North Carolina, Vice President Harris, she has really expanded the map, and she has expanded the battleground states that they believe they can win. That was obviously winnowing down after President Biden's disastrous debate. And when it comes to the excitement in this room, I can say there's a lot of energy here. But the campaign did choose a smaller venue for this. There is a very, very limited seating here. This is not like some of those rallies I went to last week where there were 10,000, 15,000 plus people. This was very much a serious economic policy focused message. But I can tell you, when I talk to voters, this speech today, it resonates with them. They want to hear her talk about issues that impact their day-to-day lives. And I think when we gear up to the DNC, she's going to continue this message on her bus tour over the weekend, likely in a rally in Wisconsin, I'm told, next Tuesday before her speech at the DNC. She is just riding that wave all the way through the convention, Terry.
All right, Selena Wang there in Raleigh, Elizabeth Schulze here in Washington. Thanks very much on a big day.